Hello students, welcome to this video tutorial. Today we're going to do a review on comparing decimal numbers or comparing any numbers. So when you're asked to compare numbers or asked to compare decimal numbers, you have to answer three questions. Is the number larger? Is the number smaller? Or is the number the same? So let's have a look at section A. Which number is bigger and why? So example A is a very simple example. We have the number 321 or 324. Of course, you know that the answer is 324 is the larger number, but we need to understand why. So in order to answer these type of questions, what I like to do is I like to write the number. So that's the first number, 321. And then I like to write the second number right underneath it. So the 4 is in the ones column, the 2 is in the tens column, and the 3 is in the hundreds column. So let's compare these two numbers. So let me switch pens. All right, so let's start with going left to right in this direction of place value columns. So let's start in the hundreds column. So in the first number, we have a 3 in the hundreds column, and in the second number, we have a 3 in the hundreds column. So they are the same, so we can't really tell which number is bigger. Let's go to the next number. The next place value column is the tens. So in the first number, we have a 2 in the tens column, and in the second number, we have a 2 in the tens column. So they are the same, so we can't really tell which number is bigger. So let's go to the ones column. The first number has a 1 in the ones column. The second number has a 4 in the ones column. So here we see that this number is larger. So if the hundreds column numbers are the same, if the tens column numbers are the same, then we have to look at the ones column. This number is bigger. Okay? So if we write a therefore statement, then we can go 324 is greater than 321. Or we can write the same statement but backwards. 321 is less than 324. All right, let's go on to example B. So finally, we have a number with a decimal. So let's write the first number, 5.31. Now let's write the second number. We have to line up all of the place value columns. So we have a decimal place here. So we have a 5 in the ones column, a 3 in the tens column, and a 0 in the hundreds column. So let's switch pens again. Let's have a look. Let's compare these numbers. So in the first number, we have a 5 in the ones column, and in the second number, we have a 5 in the ones column. So they're the same. So we can cross those out. Now, as we cross over the decimal, we get to the tenths column. In the first number, we have a 3 in the tens column, and in the second number, we have a 3 in the tens column. So they are the same number, so let's cross those out. Now, let's go to the hundreds column. We have a 1 compared to a 0. The 1 is the larger number, so that means that the first number, 5.31, is greater than 5.30. So let me write a therefore statement. Therefore, 5.31 is greater than 5.30, or 5.30 is less than 5.31. All right, let's go to the next example, example C. So let's line up the numbers right on top of each other. We have 21.0058. And then we have the next number, 21. We'll line up the decimals, make sure they're one on top of each other, 0.006. Okay? All right, let's compare the numbers. Let's go place value by place value column. In the tens column, we have a 2 and we have a 2. In the ones column, we have a 1 and a 1. Everything's equal so far. In the tens column, we have a 0 and a 0. In the hundreds column, we have a 0 and a 0. Now, in the thousands column, we have a 5 compared to a 6. 6 is greater than 5, so I like to circle that number, put an arrow here. Therefore, I've identified the larger number. So let's write our therefore statement. Therefore, 006 is greater than 21.0058, or we write the inverse statement, 21.0058 is less than 21.006. Okay. All right, let's go on to the last example. All right, 0.157 compared to 0.1573. So let's write these numbers right on top of each other. 0.157. We have a 1 in the tens column, a 5 in the hundreds column, and a 7 in the thousands column. We write the next number below it. We line up the decimal places. 0.1573. Now you might be thinking, okay, well, you know what? I'll get there. So let's go place value by place value. In the ones column, we compare a 0 to a 0. They're the same. In the tens column, we compare a 1 to a 1. They're the same. In the hundreds column, we compare 5 to a 5. They are the same. In the thousands column, we compare a 7 to a 7. They are the same. Then, when we get to the 10,000s column, we have a 3, but we have no number in this place value. Now, if there's no number in this place value, then we can assume that that number is an invisible 0. So if we compare 3 is greater than 0, we know that 3 is the larger number. We're going to circle that. And then let's write our therefore statements. Therefore, 0.157 is less than 0.1573, or 0.1573 is greater than 0.157. Okay? Okay, so let's move on to section B. Different type of question. Put these numbers in ascending order. Ascending means from lowest to greatest. So we can use a similar strategy that we just used on the previous question. So what if we were to write these numbers on top of each other, lining up all of the decimal places? Okay. It's very important that you line up the decimals. You line up the ones column, you line up the tens column, you line up the hundreds column, and then you line up the thousands column. Now, in the last example, we realized that when a decimal number ends, the numbers that are hidden or invisible are 0. So what we can do is we can fill in these zeros at the end of the number. So because we're looking for numbers in ascending order, so let's compare these numbers and look for the smallest number. Now in the ones column, we have a 0, a 0, a 0, and a 0. They're all the same. Let's look in the tens column. We have a 0 here. Okay? So this is going to be the smallest number. Now, let's compare. Let's go to the next number above. So we have a 4 and a 4. So it's either going to be this number is next or this number is next. So let's compare these two numbers. So just so that I can make it a little bit clearer, I'm going to put these two numbers over here. So 0.490, and we're going to compare it to 0.495. Okay, we use the same strategy over and over again. Now, as you get better at this, you don't need to go through every single step. Okay, so the ones column is the same. The tens column is the same. The hundreds column is the same. And if we look for the 0 is the second smallest number. So I'm going to put a little code here, second smallest. Okay, so we're left with only two more numbers to compare. That's this number over here, 0.495, and then the last number over here, 0.500. This one's pretty easy to tell. We go to the ones column. Oops. Go to the ones column. We have a 0 and a 0. We go to the tens column and we see that a 4 is less than a 5. So this is going to be the third smallest. Okay, so let's rewrite these numbers in ascending order. So let me change pens. So our first smallest number was 0.050. But the problem is, in the question, it was only listed at 0.05. So I got to put it 0.05. I have to write it the way it was written in the question. So I'll put a therefore statement here. Okay, so that's the first one. Okay, so I can cross this one off my list. The second smallest number was this number here. That's why I have the code here, 0.490. But in the question, it was only listed at 0.49. So I want to get rid of this 0. So the next number is 0.49. The third largest number is this number here, 0.495. And that was written exactly how it was in the question. So 0.495. And then the last number is this number over here, but it wasn't written as 0.500, it's written at 0.5. So 0.5. I've got my therefore statement. I've written these numbers in ascending or numerical order, 0.05, 0.49, 0.495, and 0.5. So how about I give you a few minutes? Why don't you press pause, and then I want you to work on question B, and then come back and we'll have a look at the answer. Okay, so press pause right now, and then figure it out, and then press play. Okay. Okay, so I think I figured out the answer to question B. So we have the smallest number is, oops, I made a mistake. So let me correct this. So the smallest number is 1.65. The second smallest number is 1.068. The next largest number is 1.07, and the largest number is 1.65. I'd actually written them in reverse order. All right, so I'll put an L here for largest. Okay, so let me have my therefore statement. Therefore, the smallest number, 1.065. The next largest is 1.068. The next largest is 1.07. And then the last one, the largest number is 1.65. So I hope you can check these answers, and I hope you did well. I hope you got them right. Okay? All right, let's go on to the final section. All right, so complete the statement. So basically what I'm looking for is a less than, a greater than, or an equal sign. So it's essentially the same question as all of the ones above it. We're comparing the two numbers, 5.49 and 5.5. We look in the tens column, we see that the 5 is larger, so 5.5 is greater than 5.49, or 5.49 is less than 5.5. Let's do the same for question B. 0.389, and then we write the number, the other number below it. We can write a 0 here as a place value holder or filler. And we see that if we go to the hundreds column, the 9 is greater than the 8. So this is the greater number. So we can write again, 0.389 is less than 0.39, or 0.39 is greater than 0.389. And then finally, we get a whole number, which is pretty unusual. And then we get a decimal number after it. Now the whole number itself, the top number, the whole number is 1,501. The bottom number, the whole number is 1,501. So the only difference comes in the tenths column. We see that the second number has a 1 in the tenths column, and the first number has no number in the tens column, which means there's a 0 in the tens column. So this number is larger. So we have a greater than sign going in this direction. 1,501 is less than 1,501.1, or 1,501.1 is greater than 1,501. Okay, so That ends our video tutorial review on comparing decimal numbers. Thanks for watching. Bye.